Well, this video is very delayed compared to when I usually make it. Hey guys, my name is Dave and welcome to another video. So, many of you who have been on the channel for long enough know that I've been making annual videos to comfort those who are going through losses over the course of the past, I think it's been about 5 years now, more or less. Yeah, about 5 or 6 years. So, we're going to be doing that again today. But first, I do want to bring up one detail about it. In the past, I've always been comforting towards those who are going through a loss and giving out, a caring hand to you guys. For those who actually go through it, go through a hard time, go through a loss, go through something medical that hurts, that makes it difficult to move on for a bit, yet, etc., etc. Well, I briefly brought it up last year, but at the beginning of last year, I had lost the life of my grandfather, my dad's dad. And it was painful, very much so, especially with how close to my family he was. Like any good grandparent would be. Now, prior to this, the only individual I had ever lost in my life was my ex-girlfriend, Tristan, who, unfortunately, may she rest in peace, died to a drug overdose. She was being influenced, but that's aside from the point. After this, I hadn't lost anyone close to me until last year when I lost my grandfather. That one hurt. I originally I thought losing Tristan had hurt, but when I had lost my grandfather, man, I don't think I had ever experienced a pain worse than that. And I've gone through surgeries in my life before on the head. I have a scar to showcase for it, but it kind of likes to hide. That's why I have this kind of hairstyle in the first place, is more to kind of cover the scar. I don't think it's like it's like an insecurity thing, I guess you could say, but it's like on the side of my head here somewhere. Yeah, it's like right there. Anyway, that's kind of scar for proof. Anyway, I digress. That was painful. I've gone through. I did the most recent one I went through was in 2014, but that's a video for another day. The amount of physical pain that I felt then, the loss that I went through last year was way, way worse. Now, obviously, there's a difference between physical and mental pain, but if I was given the choice of losing him, my grandfather, or going through another surgery, you can bet your bottom dollar I would have picked the surgery again. No questions asked. I would do that for any of my family members as well, but given this is the first family member loss I've ever had that was close to me like this, I could not handle it mentally. And it apparently led to a lot of people thinking I was drunk. I saw the thumbnail for the video they said that in, and I can get why. It's ridiculous how I actually do look drunk. I tried to change the auto thumbnail, but all of them look the same. It's like, okay. But yeah, that visual, by the way, I wasn't drunk. It was a medical thing, a trigger saying, hey, this thing is about to happen. I'm not going to talk about what that medical thing is right now. Maybe I will in the future because it's something I've had since I was 6. But and I haven't let it impact my life in a negative way since I moved out on my own. I've been trying to do the opposite, and it's been working. It's actually been helping in a way. Even if it's not gone, it doesn't happen even close to as frequently as it used to. But I digress. Like I said, this is something I'll talk about later. But the reason I bring it up is because that actually did trigger it to happen. And that's why that visual. That's why I looked drunk. I wasn't. Last time I got drunk was 2018, I think. I think I went a year where I started drinking and I stopped because medical reasons of my own choice. That and I didn't like the outcome, but that's a story for a different day. I'm not going to get too far off the topic here. The point is, of all of this being said, losing my grandfather impacted me in such a negative way that I missed out on his funeral. I mean, I physically went, but this medical thing happened at the funeral, and I completely missed out on it. And that, I thought it hurt before what happened. That made it worse. At this point, I don't know if this is like a guilt thing or not, but I haven't impacted on my mind that I will never be able to forget that day. Like I think I've made it a point at this point, especially since I do make these videos, to think back on that and at the same time relate to all of you who have lost someone. Now, I've gone 6 minutes kind of talking about this whole thing. I'm not going to do it for too much longer. I just wanted to give a little bit of a kind of a backstory to showcase that at this point I do understand what those go. There are many people out there who go through this kind of pain annually, and no matter how many years go by, you never get over the loss of the individual you care about. I think I understand why now. Sure, I have a reason. A lot of these people like me have a reason for it. Because these people didn't get to say a proper goodbye. Neither did I. I didn't even get the chance to like approach the casket and say goodbye in that sense, like a lot of people do. That would have been the chance, but it didn't happen. And it did impact me in that kind of way that I think a lot of people are impacted. Excuse me. Kind of still coming out of the cold that I had last week with coughing and stuff, so apologies for that. Um, but even still, I think I'm starting to understand the mentality of those who don't get a chance to say goodbye, so they never exactly get over the death of the person. It's for some people the extent of that is different. For me, it's more of a case of a memoria in a way, because I don't tear up very often. I have to be hit hard to do so. Last week, while I was sick, I spent a lot of that day mourning the loss of my grandfather. It has just been a year since then, but even still, the fact that I didn't get a chance to say goodbye, I think I officially subconsciously made it a point to annually give my respects in a way. Now, I can't do it in person because the funeral, along with the burial, was in a completely different state of the United States where I am. So, unfortunately, it can't be done that way. However, I think another reason subconsciously why this happened is because I know for a fact, consciously, that I make these annually to comfort those who go through a loss. And I think putting myself through that annual memoria, I think it'll help me understand why others feel the way they do. Now, granted, I'm not like bawling, I'm not crying, I'm not going to go on this huge, oh, woe is me tangent. I can understand, though, why people do. And I think it's important for those who don't understand to at least be comforting about it. Some people get annoyed by it, and for those who do, I just hope it's not because, oh, great, we're going through another one of these circumstances. It hurts. It hurts them. at least be gentle about it. At least if you're not going to listen, pretend to listen. I wouldn't condone the pretending to listen because that's just cruel. But still, people go through this hardship every day. And for those of you who have a hard time just letting go of that passing, I get it. I understand the psychological reason behind it too. Admittedly, I understood the loss back when I first lost Tristan, my ex. It's something entirely different that I'm not going to get into. But I didn't understand the level of pain that made them annually mourn to large degrees. But now I do. And I get why it hurts. So, with that being said, I did want to talk about this for a bit. Like always, I wanted to make some kind of annual video paying respects to those who have been lost and reaching my hand out to those who are going through a loss. In case the last 10-ish minutes didn't give away, I can definitely say this now. You're not alone. I get it. Personally, I do. And I wish the best for all of you who have to go through this. Because I get why it's hard. I understand why it's difficult. More than I think I would have ever been able to admit before last year. And, okay, I'm going to start crying if I don't stop. Jeez. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you'd like me to talk about something a bit more uplifting, and if you have an idea for something, let me know in the comments below. I look through them all the time. And I don't know, if you have any something kind-hearted or experience-wise that you'd like to bring up, welcome to bring it down there below. But let's just try to keep it, once again, kind-hearted if we do that. But if you like this kind of stuff, this video specifically, make sure to give the video a like and consider subbing to the channel. I try to do these kind of vlogs as often as I can, and hopefully I'm able to do them once a week. I'm trying to get back to the point where I am, but not quite yet. This week's an exception, because this is already delayed enough as it is. So yeah. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys in another video. Bye, everyone.